Good morning. So I finally have the entire back panel removed off of this A2. And I'll point out that there is only one bumperette mounting bolt set still intact, and it's pretty corroded on here. I'm going to take these pieces off and I'm going to refabricate them, make them new, but I'm going to do that after I get this sandblasted because I need to have these as patterns and they get destroyed. But on this side, it was completely rusted out. The ones inside were rusted out and gone completely. The trailer hitch mount was good enough for me to get on here, but the bottom of it was bending in and it was in pretty bad shape. The back panel's all in boxes and pieces out there. This is the piece that goes like this in here against the back. And this piece has a support on it for that. It was rusted through in various places along here. I didn't feel safe about leaving that on there. If somebody towed something, that would create a problem. I have some issues right here I'm going to have to put patches in for. That's not a real big problem. I can do that pretty easily and weld new metal in here. I'm going to do that after it's sandblasted. This piece gets welded on here again after sandblasting. But I'll show you the new piece. This is what you get from CMD, and it goes like this on here. It's going to mount inside here, go all the way back to there. I've got some other pieces I need to trim off on the side there yet, but it goes like that. CMD also includes the bracket that goes on top of it, like right here. So it stiffens up where the trailer hitch is mounted, and as importantly, it's where your seat belts are mounted. Your rear seat belts, if you put them in. I have to trim this off, and I'll do a linear weld across there and grind it down, and you won't even be able to see the difference. All these holes get welded up. The trailer hitch, the spare tire mount had been ground off and something weird done to it, but I'm going to completely rebuild that, put it back on. Before I do all the rest of it, we're going to put ropes on this vehicle. I'm going to then cut the supports inside, the fender supports off, and round them off nicely so that they can be done and look really good too. Now, here's the piece that was completely corroded off. This is your rear support, and it goes on in here, and it's mounted right like that. It goes inside, so I have to get this piece so that it slides in all the way, and that will give me the locations of the bumperettes and the pieces that I need to weld to the inside here. But there are insert pieces that go inside this, right here. On the ends, this is the piece. This was salvageable. This was both of the left and rights were in pretty good condition. I just need to clean them up, straighten a couple things on them where they get a little damaged on the way out, but they look good. Now those pieces go, for example, they go like this, right inside here. And they fit right inside and drop in flush with that. So you can see how that piece sets, and it looks like this big. But this piece was completely rusted out, top and bottom, through the back. It had to be replaced. And that means you got to replace the back panel too, because if you take this off, it makes a mess. And then that part of that welds to this, and it's on and on and on. The top piece welds to that. The other piece that I salvaged off of these is this piece. Now this piece goes on here, but you can see all of the rusted out and crapped up and drilled out metal. I have to clean this all up, and then I'll put this on here. I'll weld it all in place. But this is the old one of these. You can see it was completely gone, rusted off, welded on here, but I have to cut it off, and that piece extrudes out across here, and you see the lip of it when it's on there. So this back panel, when we first looked at the vehicle, it looked really in nice condition. And I got to wondering, and so I took a side grinder to it, or sander, and I started sanding and hit Bondo. And I started digging into the Bondo and got right through the Bondo into rusted out metal, and rusted out metal where it was attached in here. When I put it on the rotisserie, I normally attach the rotisserie at these 2 points, the outsides of the bumperettes, and when I let the weight off of the lift, this thing got all sporty on me. I mean, it was moving around on the rotisserie in ways that was not safe. So I had to pull it off, put it back on the lift, and then come up with a new adapter that I can show you. I put on my, there's the new adapter I put on so that I can mount it onto the trailer hitch right there. I'm using a couple head bolts to do that. But that let me put it back on. And now I can change the center and move this around to get it centered, and it's going to be in pretty good shape. So now I can start cleaning this up. What I'm doing is leaving this like this until after sandblasting. It's going to look like hell when it comes back because all these holes, but I don't have to mess with the rust. The rust will be taken off with sandblasting. Then I'll re-weld this stuff in here, fix it, straighten all of this out, and straighten the middle out, weld a new piece in across here to cover that, not to cover it, but to replace it. And then I'll start putting the rear panel back together. I did this before I did the middle cross member and the front cross member. Both of those have heavy steel welded over them. I got to cut them out and find out what we've got left in there so I can fix them. That's where I am with this A2, and if you ever decide you want to change a back panel, be wary. You got to take all of this stuff all apart and drill out a bazillion spot welds, and it's just an absolute nightmare. So that's where we're at.